In late 2022, the Call of Duty community was at a fever pitch. We were coming off the back of Vanguard, a game many were ready to leave behind, and returning to the sub-series that revitalized the franchise in 2019. Modern Warfare 2 wasn't just a sequel, it was a promise of the most advanced Call of Duty in history, a return to the gritty realism of Task Force 141, and the launch of Warzone 2.0. But as the dust settled on Al Mazrah and the Hulu-style menus, we realized that MW2 was a game at war with itself. Today, we're looking back on the 2022 reboot of a legend. The campaign was, in many ways, the high point. Infinity Ward moved away from the sprawling war drama of the original 2009 title and focused on something more intimate: the bond between Soap McTavish and Simon Ghost Riley. Missions like Alone showcased a slower, survival-focused gameplay style that we hadn't seen in CoD before, crafting smoke bombs from duct tape and chemicals while sneaking through the rainy streets of Mexico. Then you had Violence and Timing, a mission that felt like it was ripped straight out of an Uncharted game, letting you hop between moving trucks. While the plot involving stolen American missiles felt a bit safe, the introduction of Alejandro Vargas and the Los Vaqueros unit gave the story a heart that was missing from previous entries. It ended on a cliffhanger, teasing the return of Makarov, and for a moment, it felt like Call of Duty was truly back. Then came the multiplayer. This is where things got complicated. MW2 2022 was defined by a massive shift in philosophy. Infinity Ward wanted to slow things down. They removed slide canceling, added ledge hanging, and leaned into what they called the Sentinel playstyle, essentially a more tactical, some would say campy approach. The Gunsmith 2.0 was a double-edged sword. On one hand, the level of customization was staggering. On the other, the platform system meant you had to level up a marksman rifle just to unlock a red dot sight for your SMG. It was a grind that felt like a chore for many. And we can't talk about MW2 without mentioning the UI. Inspired by streaming apps like Hulu, the horizontal tile-based menu became an instant meme for being confusing and clunky. Combined with the controversial Sanasena border crossing map, the map with all the cars, it felt like the developers were intentionally challenging the player base's patience. In November, Warzone 2.0 arrived with Al Mazrah. It was massive, beautiful, and fundamentally different. Proximity chat was the MVP of the launch, leading to hilarious negotiations between squads and terrifying moments of hearing an enemy's voice in the building next to you. But the real sleeper hit was DMZ'd. Call of Duty's take on the extraction shooter genre was surprisingly addictive. Fighting AI, completing faction missions, and the high-stakes tension of trying to reach the last helicopter with a weapon case gave players a reason to play that wasn't just chasing a KD ratio. While DMZ was eventually sidelined for MW3's Zombies, its influence on the franchise's sandbox mechanics can't be understated. So, how do we remember Modern Warfare 2 2022? It's a game that gave us the best version of Ghost and Soap, but it's also the game that divided the player base over movement and realism. It was a technical powerhouse that suffered from a lack of identity, eventually serving as a massive content bridge for 2023's Modern Warfare 3. It wasn't the CoD killer or the second coming of 2009, but it was a bold attempt to change the DNA of the world's biggest shooter. Whether those changes were for the better? Well, that depends on whether you prefer cracked out movement or a slow, tactical sweep. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments, what was your favorite or least favorite memory from the MW2 2022 era?